Only the elect is going to be gathered when the Lord returns with the holy angels. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to you brothers to the four corners of the earth, preaching His word and also laboring in His word in truth, love, and sincerity. And may blessings fall upon the houses of the 1/3. And I'm going to say it again before I start the lesson off. Only the elect is going to be gathered when the Lord returns with the holy angels. Okay? Now, you need to ask yourself, who is the elect? If you already don't know. Who is the elect? The book of Matthew 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay? Because when Yahushua makes his return, okay, he's coming back with that power. He's coming back with that force. He's coming back with the holy angels as well. Okay? And the scripture says, well, all eyes shall see him. Okay? The Lord's going to return, man, in a great fathership, you know? And if I had time to read it, I would read it when you go to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. All right? When it's being described of a big chariot, you know, as if it was big as a mountain, roughly speaking, okay? Or where Esdras thought this chariot was a mountain. Okay? That's how huge it was. But when it moved, he didn't see where that mountain would have took place. Why? Because it was a chariot. In a different way that you could understand code names for, chariots, okay? Which those are who the so-called white man calls UFOs, right? The chariots of salvation, the chariots of Israel. They're called different code names, and one of them is what? Clouds. Okay, so this is when it says, when the Lord, what? It says, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Hey, that's talking about the chariots, man. Like I said before, who the so-called white man calls UFOs. Right? It says, and he shall send his angels with a sound of a trumpet, and they shall what? And they shall gather his elect. His what? His elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now, why would the elect be from one end of heaven to the other? Why would they need gathered from one end of heaven, right, to the other? Because they were scattered into one end of the earth and to the other end of the earth. Okay, this is another code that you can think about when as the Israelites were being scattered. Okay, so let's get this real quick. Let's get the scattering real quick. Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, and then we're going to go into the elect, Lord willing. Right? It's the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And that's the point on that, okay? The Israelites have been scattered from one end of the earth and to the other, in which they are going to be gathered from one end of heaven and to the other. All right, let's go to the book of James. James 1, verse 1, it says what? James, a servant of the Most High, of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Scattered abroad where? They have been scattered abroad through the whole entire earth due to the curses that fell upon us, right? And I'll make mention again, we are going to be gathered, right, from these places where we were scattered. All right, so let's go into this elect a little. Let's touch on this elect real quick. Let's see who this is. Let's identify who is the elect. It's the book of Isaiah 45, verse 4 says, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect. You see that? Israel mine elect. I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Okay? So who is the elect? Israel. Israel are the elect. Okay? Only Israelites can fall under that banner of being a part of the elect. All right. I'm gonna go up further a little bit. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, 65th chapter. That's Salakia because I'm actually in transit. Just got off the plantation. It's the book of Isaiah 65, verse 9. It says, "And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob, and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains. And mine elect," mine what? "And mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there." Okay? So we know that the true servants of the Lord are Israelites, and only Israelites can be a part of the elect. Okay? And it's all about the elect right now on this side. Okay? The elect will be also part of they'll be also considered the Israel of the Most High. What's that? The book of Galatians 6, verse 16. Okay? Because everybody is not going to make it on this side, man. 2/3 of our people are not going to make it, you know. And 2/3 of our people, they won't be considered the elect, okay? Because the elect is going to get this truth, this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, okay? Elect, meaning election. Chose, another word for being elected, election is chosen, okay? And there's only a remnant of that sort. Okay. Where I wanted to go, Salakia. Lost my train of thought. In fact, let's go back to the book of Matthew, 24th chapter, right? And let's read that again. It says, "And then shall appear the sign," Salakia. "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet," right? "With a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven and to the other." Okay, so that's what the elect is going to do. And when they sound this trumpet, okay, being gathered up is going to be what? The elect being beamed up from wherever they were scattered. All right, let's go to the book of 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse, let's see where we can start at. Start at verse 15. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 15, it says, "For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of the Most High," right? With the trumpet of the Most High. Slack, man. Keyboard don't know how to drive, man. It says, for this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in the Mashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them, right? We're going to be caught up together for the ones who already, died for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua already, right? The ones that died in his faith. It says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. Where? In the chariots. Okay? This is how we're going to be caught up. We're going to be caught up in the clouds in those chariots. Okay? To meet the Lord in the air, and so we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. And these words are comforting, to know that, you may be a part of that small remnant that's going to be delivered from the death and the destruction that's coming to America, Babylon the Great. Okay? these are comforting words, you know, that we have a fighting chance. Okay, the ones that have this knowledge. But as the scripture says, it says, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. So we got to endure into the end. Okay, the fight is not over. We must continue to fight the good fight of faith until it's what? Until we're beamed up into those chariots. Okay, but this is how we're going to be gathered, man. We're going to be gathered. We're going to be gathered together by these clouds, man. Okay, which they're what? They're the chariots of salvation. All right, they're the chariots of salvation. You know, so I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Matthew 24 verse 30. You know, dealing with the elect. You know, but also going into how, you know, we will be beamed up. Okay, by those clouds, and how those clouds is going to gather us from wherever we are scattered at. Matter of fact, I got one more before I close out. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter. Let's start about verse 10. It says, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign for the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You see, so no matter where Israel is dwelling, right, which we know we were scattered through the four corners of the earth, this is where we're going to be recovered, man. You see, as it says, what? The second time. So we're going to be recovered from wherever we're going to dwell at. Okay? So we're waiting upon the Lord, man. That's why we say, man, when people talk about going back to Israel and doing all that, nah, man, just wait upon the Lord, man. The Lord is going to deliver us. The Lord is going to take us where we need to be. Okay? So we must just keep fighting, you know? But you know, just wanted to do that real quick. The Spirit, Lord willing, hope was edifying. And with that, till next time, I want to say shalom.